Miss Chan here, and welcome back to a new video inside One in a Million. So today I was originally not going to go live. Like there was absolutely no plan to do a video today. I'm sorry about the shaking. Thor just jumped from the table. I had no plans to do a video today, but then all of a sudden inspiration hit me, and then it landed so hard that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a live right away. So I just popped on here, super impromptu. So what I want to talk about today are your old triggers. Your old triggers, like they come up sometimes at the most inconvenient time. So you are doing your healing, you are manifesting, you are moving forward, you're moving on with your life, you are, creating a new lifestyle, like living a new identity. And then all of a sudden, your old triggers come up, right? And these triggers could be like, it could come in the form of someone saying something to you, and then it triggers like an emotion and a feeling within you that feels so familiar, it feels so triggering, it puts you back in like an old moment. Or it could be a person, it could be an email, it could be a text from an ex-boy or girlfriend, it could be anything. And it comes up when we least expect it, right? So you are here doing all this healing for yourself, and you already have moved on with your life, and then all of a sudden you are reminded of this feeling that you have been trying to put behind you. You've been trying to put in your past. You have no intentions of reliving it. So what do we make about that? What do we make of that, right? And what I've realized is it's funny that these triggers come up, because I used to think that it's like, oh, you know, I feel like I'm kind of moving backwards. It feels the same when the triggers come up. It feels like I'm dealing with the same thing over and over again. It feels like the same event is occurring in my life and I can't really shake it off. That's what it feels like. Like that's a message that I'm sending to myself. And, a lot of my clients experience this. Like, what do I do with these triggers that keep showing up in my life when I least expect it, when I'm trying to move on, when I'm trying to start a new life, when I'm already with a new person? These old triggers are kind of taking a place. It's trying to, it's holding up my energy right now. So what do I do to relieve it? And how do I wrap my head around it? So what I've realized is your triggers come up as an emotion, right? It's very coded in your body. It's already coded into your emotions, into your memory. So every single time you experience this trigger, yep, there was a shake right there. Every single time you experience a trigger, you will feel it the same way. It almost feels like the same narrative, right? So you relive this experience. But what I want you to be able to differentiate, this is where the power of your old triggers and wounds lie, is when you're able to see that your old triggers are no longer a lifestyle for you. So you have already moved on. They're no longer the way that you used to cope with things, right? They're no longer the way that you believe in things. They're no longer the way that you feel about things right now, but it feels very familiar because it brings you back to an old time in your past. But you're no longer living the same life. This is what I want you to remember, right? Because for as long as we think, like here's the mistake that a lot of people make. For as long as you think that I am still living my old life, and I'm brought back to the past, and I feel like I'm not making any progress. I feel like I just move one step forward and two steps back, and I feel discouraged. You're missing the point, because your triggers are here to open up another opportunity for you. Like I almost kind of see it as I think it's such a beautiful thing, because I kind of see it as like the universe giving us like a sign that to tell us that we have already moved on. Like it's like a sign, it's like a portal that we get to see with our current level of awareness, right? With the awareness that we have, with the current lifestyle that we have, with the current mentality that we have, with the new things that we have been exposed to, right? With the new relationships, with the new people, with the new lifestyles, with the new mentality, with a new mindset, with a new way of living and operating, that we can look back in the past. I don't know, I'm pointing that way. We can look back in the past and realize that we have already moved on. So it's an opportunity for us to make a remark, like a mental note to ourselves. It's like the universe is like shining a flashlight sign that says, this is a sign that when you look back at this old thing that has, taken up a space in your heart and made you feel bad in the past, you feel differently about it right now. And I encourage you to realize and to notice the nuances, the subtleties between the way you feel about it now than the way you felt about it in the past. Yes, it is still triggering. Yes, it is still uncomfortable. Yes, you may not want to have to deal with it again. And yes, you may be annoyed at yourself, or you may be annoyed at the person. It's like, why are you texting me now? Or why are you suddenly sending a message to me? Why are you cold messaging me? I don't even want to hear from you, right? But then when you see that as an opportunity, that is actually a new energetic portal. It's a new doorway for you to step right through, right? The moment you have that acknowledgement of like, oh my gosh, it feels very familiar, it's triggering, but you know what? I'm no longer that person. I no longer, feel the same way that I felt about it before. I no longer get as agitated as I did before. I no longer resent or, I no longer try to push away these feelings as I did before. I'm no longer hiding. And then the moment of your acknowledgement is the opportunity for you to walk through that door. But oftentimes what happens is that people don't see that door. What they see is the old lifestyle. What they see is the old path. What they see is the old ways that they have thought and embodied and the way that they did things. And they thought that they're still living their old life. But when you can see the door, and when you can see that you are walking through that door, you suddenly unhinge yourself from your old wounds. Suddenly, the moment you walk through that door, you're able to tell your story. You're able to tell the story of how you're able to overcome your triggers and the story of your past in a way that you have never been able to carry it out before. Right? You say it in a different tone. You say it as though it was something that already lives in the past. It no longer interferes with your aura and your energy, right? So this is something that I would love and encourage for you to pay attention to, because I strongly believe that every single time I get a nudge like this to share this kind of message, like it literally just came from nowhere. And of course, like this has happened to me very recently. I just got a text from my ex. I got a text from my ex, and my clients got a text from their ex, and it's like, hey, like there is room for discussion here. There is room for a realization, the realization that the portal is there. So guys, pay attention to that portal. Allow yourself to walk through that door. Don't look back and think that, you've taken 2 steps back. That is not the case. The universe wants you to see. The universe is giving you a sign to say, to tell you, to show you that you have already moved on with your new life. Whether or not if you decide to engage with an old trigger, an old emotion, that is entirely up to you. The way that you will engage with it, if you have walked through that door, if you decide to engage with it, if you decide to, talk to the person, or you decide to deal with it and confront it, you're going to do it at an entirely new energy. Like you're going to be doing it from an elevated energy because you're operating from a new level of consciousness, right? So anyway, that is the message that I want to drop down and share with you, and let me know how this has helped you. Like if there's anything that is happening in your life right now that is showing up and you're like, I don't know why it's coming up right now, like let me know in the comments so we can have this conversation together, and let me know if that has helped you. So that is all for today. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video.